Hello everyone, welcome back to Pacific Front channel. In the past, we discussed how the Arrowhead 140 design transformed into three different frigate classes that will serve three different navies. Right now, the frigates are undergoing construction in the UK, Indonesia, and Poland. But the Arrowhead 140 is not the only warship design that will serve multiple operators. The UK, this time with Australia and Canada, are building new frigates based on the Type 26 design to meet their respective needs. What's the difference between the three of them? Let's find out in today's video. Stay tuned. The Type 26 originated from the Future Surface Combatant program, which aimed to replace the Royal Navy's aging Type 22 and Type 23 frigates. The program began in 1998 with initial concepts including various designs such as a trimaran hull. However, by 2010, the focus shifted to a more conventional and flexible design under the Global Ship Program. That year, BAE Systems Maritime Naval Ships was awarded a 4-year, £127 million contract to develop the new warship. Manufacturing was expected to begin in 2016 with the first delivery in 2023. However, the commissioning date was later delayed to late 2026 with initial operational capability anticipated from 2028. Designed primarily to be submarine hunters, initially the Royal Navy planned to procure 13 Type 26 frigates, but was later reduced to 8 due to budget constraints and strategic re-evaluations. This decision was made during the 2015 Strategic Defense and Security Review, aimed to balance the capability and cost while introducing a new class of lighter and more affordable Type 31 general purpose frigates to fill the gap. The contract to manufacture the first three Type 26, now named the City-class frigate, was awarded to BAE Systems on 2 July 2017, with the first steel cutting for the first ship, HMS Glasgow, held on the 20th. As of the time of writing, HMS Glasgow has received both its bow-mounted and towed array sonar, as well as its Mark 45 5-inch gun, and the construction of the fifth ship is underway. Australia's dream of acquiring a new type of frigate began in 2009. At that time, the Australian government revealed a defense white paper signaling their intent to acquire a fleet of 8 new future frigates, which will be larger than the Anzac class, with a focus on ASW operations. Later, this plan will be known as the C5000 Future Frigate Program. In June 2018, the Australian government announced its decision to select the Type 26. The ships will be built in Australia with Australian-specific modifications and will be named Hunter class in Australian service. However, its procurement process is far from a cakewalk. In January 2024, a review into Australia's procurement of the Hunter class frigate found serious issues with the procurement process. According to the review, the Type 26 was the only design out of the shortlisted candidates that met both ASW and mission system requirements. All design candidates were described as carrying medium risk with their mission and ASW systems, except for the Type 26, which had its ASW capabilities described as low risk and mission system as medium risk. Then, in February, citing budget constraints and reassessment, the Australian government announced a reduction in the order from 9 to 6. Meanwhile, the remaining gap will be filled by a new class of 11 general-purpose frigates, which we discussed a few weeks ago. As of right now, the construction of the first Hunter-class frigate has begun, with the expected delivery in 2032 and the final ship delivered in the early 2040s. The Type 26 is the preferred bidder of Canada's Naval Procurement Program under the National Shipbuilding Strategy. This program is to replace both the Iroquois-class destroyer and the Halifax-class frigate with a single class of ship capable of meeting multiple threats on both the open ocean and the highly complex coastal environment. The program, which started in 2008 under the Single Class Surface Combatant Project and later as the Canadian Surface Combatant Project, was aimed to provide the Royal Canadian Navy with 15 new ships, with the first ship projected to be available in 2026. In 2016, the Canadian government announced they would buy and modify an off-the-shelf design for the new warship instead of designing them from scratch. And originally, they would acquire 2 variants to replace the specific capabilities of the Iroquois and Halifax classes. However, in the end, only one variant will be acquired due to cost effectiveness, crew training efficiencies, and being better suited to the Navy's operational needs. In February 2019, the Canadian government awarded Lockheed Martin Canada a contract to design and build a fleet of up to 15 warships based on the Type 26 platform. The new warship, now known as the River-class destroyer, will be integrated with Canadian-specific systems to meet Canada's defense requirements. The construction activities for the River class began in June last year, with the construction of the production test module before the full rate production expected to begin this year. If there are no delays and reductions, the first ship is expected to be delivered in the early 2030s and the final one by 2050s. In terms of ship dimensions and specifications, all three classes have comparable dimensions with lengths ranging from 149 to 151 meter, beams from 20.7 to 21.4 meter, and displacement between 6,900 and 8,800 tons full load. Speed and range are pretty much similar, between 26 to 27 knots and 7,000 nautical mile, with complement ranging from 157 to 208 sailors. All ship classes will have the same engine type and engine configuration as well. The only difference is probably in what helicopter they will carry. The UK typically operates the Wildcat and or Merlin helicopters, Australia will operate the MH-60 Romeo, and Canada will operate the CH-148 Cyclone. When it comes to armaments and sensors, all three classes show their uniqueness. Starting from City class, she will be equipped with a Mark 45 5-inch gun, a 24-cell Mark 41 VLS, two 24-cell VLS for Sea Scepter missiles, as well as two Phalanx Seaweeds and two DS-30M 30mm cannons in starboard and port sides. Unlike her sister ships and most frigates, City class doesn't have a dedicated emplacement for anti-ship missile launchers usually placed amidship. Instead, she will carry the Future Cruise anti-ship weapon in the Mark 41. Second, the Hunter class. She will be equipped with a Mark 45 5-inch gun, a 32-cell Mark 41 VLS carrying SM-2 and ESSM, 8 NSM launchers, two twin torpedo launchers for the MU-90 torpedo, two Typhoon Mark 30 RWS, and two Phalanx Seaweeds. And for the River class, she will be equipped with a Leonardo 127mm Vulcano, a 24-cell Mark 41 VLS for SM-2 and ESSM, 8 NSM launchers, two twin torpedo launchers for the Mark 54 Mako torpedo, two Leonardo Lionfish 30mm autocannons, and 6-cell quad-pack Sea Scepter missiles. You must be wondering why the River class has Sea Scepter missiles while she already has ESSM. The answer is that the ESSM was selected to provide point defense coverage, while MBDA picked Sea Scepter for the Seaweeds requirements. City class will use Type 997 Artisan 3D radar and most likely be equipped with Interact CMS, all made by BAE Systems. For underwater tracking, she will be equipped with an Ultra Electronics S2150 bow-mounted sonar and Thales Captas 4 towed array sonar. Meanwhile, Hunter class will use Saefar 2 radar and AGCMS with Sub-Australian interface. Similar to City class, she will be equipped with an Ultra Electronics S2150 bow-mounted sonar and Thales Captas 4 towed array sonar. Lastly, the River-class destroyer will use Pi-7 AISA radar and IGCMS with Canadian tactical interface. Unlike her sister ships, underwater tracking will be provided entirely by Ultra Electronics. The bow-mounted sonar will be the same, meanwhile for the towed one, I assume it's gonna be Sea Saber variable depth sonar. Despite the difference in combat system and armament choices used in all three classes, the participating nations, the UK, Australia, and Canada, will all benefit from a common platform. The experience gained and shared during operations later on will also help maximize the respective Type 26 capability to the fullest. Furthermore, common propulsion systems, components, and logistics support will also help reduce the service life cost through economies of scale. To sum up, there's nothing I can say about City, Hunter, and River classes besides these are the best frigates each nation can ask for their needs and challenges, and they will define naval warfare for the next half of a century or even more. What do you think about the Type 26 and its variants? And which one do you think has a well-balanced capability? Share with us in the comment section below. Thank you for watching everyone. I'll see you in the next one.